Well, it's Sunday and it's Christmas Day as well, and so I just want to say Merry Christmas to you all, and I hope that you're having a great time. Hope you've gathered with family and friends to celebrate giving gifts and to celebrate this time where we celebrate Jesus' birth. And so it's a good time to be together and share with one another. And I just want to share a short message with you today, and it starts off with a guy who's called Soren Kierkegaard, who wrote a book called Purity of Heart is to Will One Thing. And he contended that a pure heart was a heart with singular focus. And that's an interesting idea. And the Apostle Paul was a man with, you could say, with laser focus on one thing and one thing only, and he wanted to know Christ. And from his highest highs to his lowest lows, he wanted to experience who Jesus Christ was and is. And he did not claim to have arrived at his quest, but he was focused on it. And he was the original one-dimensional man. And sometimes as a guy we think of one thing at a time and only one thing at a time, and maybe your wife or maybe your mum reminds you of this, but in this message, just being able to do one thing at a time is a good thing. And do the words one thing ring a bell with you? And when Jesus spoke to the rich young ruler in the Bible, he said, one thing that you lack. And when he reprimanded Martha for her bitter attitude towards her sister Mary, he said, one thing is needed, Martha. And the blind man who was given sight by Jesus and questioned at length by the Pharisees said, one thing I know. Paul said, I do not regard myself as having laid hold of it, yet one thing I do. And he did not look back. He reached ahead to his one thing, knowing Christ and being all that he had called him to be. And have you ever watched runners run in a race or at the track? And when a runner nears the finish line, he strains and leans and stretches for that tape. And he does not look back to see where the rest of the runners are. He does not look to the scoreboard to check his time. He does not look down to see if he's putting his feet in the right place. He runs flat out for the wire and intent on one thing, winning the race. And Jesus Christ is the author and finisher of our faith. He sounds the starting gun. He stands at the tape. He is the one who calls us higher. He is our one thing. And so many distractions, so many hoops to jump through, so much busyness. But if I could say to you one thing, I would say it's Jesus, Savior of the world. Celebrate Him, celebrate Jesus, and remember that He is our one thing. And our one thing starts today. It's Christmas Day. It's a day to know Jesus, and that's where it starts and where it ends. So I pray that you would have the same attitude and posture as Paul had, that we would not look back but reach ahead to this one thing, to knowing Christ and being all that He has called us to be. And so I just want to encourage you with that. Remember Jesus is the reason for the season. He is the one thing. And I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and have an amazing time, amazing New Year, and an amazing holiday as well. See you later.